In this session, we are going to take up another mental ability topic, which is puzzles based on arrangements. So now let's first of all understand the nature of these puzzles. Now in these puzzles, one is expected, we are expected to arrange certain objects or people in a row or in a circle. So these may be seating or standing arrangements. And these puzzles also include certain other arrangements, like arranging people based on their ranks, age, height, scores, and maybe many other things of that nature. So this is how these puzzles are asked. Now in these puzzles, generally a set of information comprising of certain conditions is provided. Okay, so we are given certain conditions, and based on those conditions we have some other information. So now the people or the object are then required to be arranged in such a way that we meet all the conditions, right? So some information is given, certain conditions are given, and then we have to arrange those people or objects such that each of these conditions is met. Now let's understand a few more things about these puzzles. The questions that are asked, these puzzles are basically meant to check or enhance the analyzing capability of an individual, right? If I am doing a question on these puzzles, then the idea is that how good is my analyzing capability, or how can I enhance my analyzing capability. So the conditions that are specified are not given in a very straightforward way. They will not tell you, like, if you're talking about age, they'll not tell you that this person is younger, this is older, and directly those kind of things. So they will give it in relation to maybe first person in relation to the fourth person, and then second in relation to the third person, and then in one way or the other, they are so intricate and they are so well built into each other that we have to figure out how to arrange them. So I'll take an example here, but this is a very, very basic example that I'm taking. 5 children took a test, and after evaluation, instead of telling them, okay, you stood first, you stood second, or instead of telling them that you scored this many marks and you scored this many marks, they were given the following information. They were told that A scored less than B, C scored less than D, B scored less than C, and A scored more than E. Now based on this information, they'll ask you a certain set of questions. So as I said, certain set of questions would be asked based on this information. So the questions normally, these puzzles are basically, most of the time, they are paragraph type of questions, where based on one set of information, multiple questions would be asked. They may ask you 2 questions, they may ask you any number of questions, but typically it is of the range of 3 to 5 questions are asked based on a set of information. So this is the nature of these puzzles. So now the thing that we need to understand is that there is a set of information and we are supposed to answer maybe 3 to 5 questions based on that. So if we make a mistake, there is a high chance that we'll make mistake in all those 3 to 5 questions which are asked. I'm not saying it will always happen, but there's a high chance, because if we have not figured out the arrangement properly, we may probably mess up with all of these questions based on one set of information. So let's understand what is the approach that is required to solve these puzzles. So first thing that we need to do is, based on the information which is given, and we first see the nature of questions. Based on one set of information, if there are maybe 4 questions, we first look at the nature of questions. What are they asking us to compare? What are they asking us to arrange these in terms of age, in terms of height, in terms of what? So we read the information carefully, thoroughly, get the nature of questions, and then prepare a complete diagram. This is very important. Prepare a complete diagram depicting the arrangement. Instead of rushing to answer the first question first, we should first focus on preparing a complete diagram depicting the arrangement. This is very, very important. The second thing that we have to do is, when we are drawing this diagram, if we see that there are multiple arrangements possible, then we need to draw them all. Supposing out of that whole information there are probably 2 or 3 possible arrangements, so we draw them all. If in some way you feel that the information is incomplete, it is not helping you in drawing a complete arrangement, maybe 1 or 2 objects or people are not, it is not possible to arrange 1 or 2 people or objects, rest all can be arranged, then we note that down, right? So if it is incomplete information, then also we note that down. Incomplete for what, right? We specify the complete thing so that it is easy for us to answer. If you find there is any conflict in the information, which is actually very, very rare, but just in case you find that there is some conflict in the information, we should note that down also, right? Now we start answering all the 4 or 5 questions that are asked based on that set of information. Now it will be very quick because you already have the arrangement ready with you. So if they ask who's next, who's sitting left of this, who's next to, who's scoring higher than this person and all that, so if you already have the complete arrangement with you, it will be very quick, and the scope of error also gets minimized. So now let's go back to that example that we talked about. Again, this is a very, very basic example that we are taking for now, and then in the next sessions we'll be covering slightly complex scenarios where more complicated, or we can say more information is given and more possible arrangements are there, and then we have to answer the questions. So we'll do those in the next session. Now the question was, 5 children took a test and after evaluation they were told the following: A scored less than B. So when it is given A scored less than B, can we just draw something? Can we just write this down as B and then A scoring less than B? C scored less than D, but I don't know where they stand with respect to A and B, so I can't write them down right now. Then we are given that B scored less than C, so we can have C somewhere here. I don't know if something comes between B and C or not, but C definitely comes above B. Now we go back to the previous information where it said C scored less than D, so we can say D is higher than C in our arrangement, right? Now there could be anybody coming in here, coming in here, coming in here, right? Now we see the last piece of information which says A scored more than E, so that clears that E has to be below A, so nobody is coming in between, and this is the arrangement which is formed based on the given information. Now let's move to the questions. Who scored second highest in the test? Clearly it is C. Who was the third from top? So third from top was B. And who scored the least? It is clearly E. Right? So in this way, if we make the complete diagram or make the complete arrangement, it is so quick and less error prone to answer these questions. So this is how we do it. So we'll take more questions in the next session. Friends, you can visit us at our Cool Smart Learning website and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more updates on the new sessions.